प्रातः स्मरामि हृदि saṃsphuradātmatattvaṃ saccitsukhaṃ paramahaṃsa-gatiṃ turīyam yatsvapna-jāgara-suṣuptamavaiti nityaṃ tad brahma niṣkalamahaṃ na ca bhūtasaṅghaḥ prātarbhajāmi manasā vacasāmagamyaṃ vāco vibhānti nikhilā yadanugraheṇa yanneti neti vacanai nigama avoco tam deva devam ajam achyutam ahuragriyam. Very simple way to look at life. That's what we are discussing. So, Prata namami, I surrender. So, when in the morning you surrender to yourself, that means you are not going to encourage, you are not going to add fuel to your ego. Identifying with your personalities or persona will be reduced. That's why learn to surrender to yourself. Never ever fight with yourself. Never ever try to prove to yourself. Because when you start surrendering to yourself, the humility becomes the outcome. And when there is humility, there will be stability in life. Please understand. The humility brings the stability in life. That's why an ordinary person, maybe a farmer, who need not be that well educated, not that much intellectual muscles with him, that person is comparatively humble than a so-called intellectual. Because of that humility, you can see that person also is equally stable, maybe lack of knowledge, maybe lack of many things. And of course, you can see the person's way of talking, approaching and behavior. That's why learn to surrender to yourself. And of course, we discussed prātarbhajāmi. Do seva to yourself. Do serve yourself. If you observe your life, whatever you do, you think as though you are doing for others, as though you are giving favor to others. Please understand, this is one of the dangerous things to happen in life. I see everywhere, starting with a family, the father will say, look, I am doing for your sake. The mother will say, I am doing for your sake. Is it true? And when you grow up, you also repeat the same thing. So you think that you are doing many things for others. Please understand, you have to learn to do something for yourself. In fact, you must do everything for yourself. Doesn't matter. Problem with you is you are doing for yourself, but you become a politician, as we discussed in details. You want to politicalize. So you want to pass on the buck You want to take the name, you want to take the credit that I am doing for you, and in the process what you do, please understand, you always come to a conclusion as though you are giving favor to others. And if the other end is little sensitive, including in close relationship, if the other side, the other person, the opponent or the receiver is a little bit, I won't say receiver, if the object of your attack, if that person is a little sensible, what will say? Will withdraw. And in the process what happens? You will lose people in your life. That is what happens. That's why yesterday, please, I was talking this point very carefully. Prātarbhajāmi. Whatever you are doing, you must have an attitude. Attitude to serve. You have got an opportunity to serve. And how we look at whether you are serving or not, whether you have developed this attitude or not, we look at the consistency. If there is no consistency, that means you are not serving. Look at any religious people. In this regard, I admire religious people. Including during lockdown time, they go crazy. I'm sorry to say. Because there is consistency. They have some attitude, whether understanding or injected or whatever way, don't ask me. Let us look at the attitude part. So whatever they do, they know that they are doing something and which is really good for them. They are getting benefited, even though they do everything, but for others or for other thing. But that deep within the conclusion is there, it is good for me, if not now, at least for tomorrow, for my future life. That should be the attitude in you. And here is being highlighted that you need to do seva, you need to develop this attitude with reference to you yourself. Because through this what will happen? That is the most important thing happens. You will not depend upon anybody in your life, nor you will be critical of anybody in your life. When you do not take care of yourself, and of course when there is no consistency, that is what the most important aspect, and always you want to confuse yourself, that is what happens when you are not able to do seva to yourself. When you are not able to serve yourself, you want to confuse yourself. And when you are confused, the mind wants to get the best out of that confusion. Your ego wants to, because that is the job of the ego, because confusion in such a way so that try to get the best out of it. That's why your ego becomes very sharp, very strong, and you command, demand, manipulate, do all sort of activities in order to continue the way you are. So that's why be careful, observe yourself, and do develop the attitude for yourself to serve yourself, to take care of yourself, and of course there should be consistency. That's why never ever think that whatever you are doing for others. Some people come and ask me, Swamiji, I am working for office. Hey, you are not working for office. Don't tell me that. You are working for yourself. You are working for your career. You are working for your so-called family. You are working for your name, fame, money, and everything. Why are you saying that you are working for office? But when you say you are working for office, there is a burden. There are a lot of issues. Can you see this point? And the same person when gets retired or doesn't get the job, what happens? Oh, Swamiji, I am really upset. Why? You earlier you were also tired and upset that you are working for others. Now at least relax. Spend time with yourself. No, Swamiji. Can you see this point? That's why never ever try to live with your confusion. And of course, you know who you are. So when you really start surrendering, you start serving to yourself. And who is that? Tam Devam Devam. So who is the illuminator of all sense organs? Gods of God. Please understand, God of gods. At the same time, Ajam, Anvan, Achyutam, never falls down the reality. And of course, the cause of everything. Means it is not any effect. That's why it will not come to an end. So that I don't have to feel bad or insecure in my life. And at the same time, which cannot be understood by my mind, nor can be explained through the words. That's why I don't have to blabber. And later on beautifully says that at the same time, this can be communicated, this can be understood by the help of the teaching. And that me is something special. Let me serve to myself. With that, now the verse number 3, let us look at. Pratar namami tamasah paramarkavarnam purnam sanatana padam puruṣottamakhyaṃ yasmin nidam jagada asesamurto yasmin nidam jagada shesham asesamurto rajvam bhujangamiva pratibhasitam vai. Once more. Good. Pratar namami tamasah paramarkavarnam purnam sanatana padam puruṣottamakhyaṃ yasmin nidam jagada shesham asesamurto rajvam bhujangamiva pratibhasitam vai. Rajvam bhujangamiva pratibhasitam vai. Very good. Beautifully says here, namami, I bow down, I prostrate. So when I say I bow down, I prostrate, no more I fight with myself. So with understanding, I surrendered. Then I started spending some time with myself by taking care of myself, relating with myself to the service. Now here I bow down so that I don't have to really fight with anybody, including with myself either. This is called the vairagya. A real vairagi, a real dispassionate person never fights with anybody. Whereas those who practice vairagya, those who practice this dispassion, they have to fight with everybody. So if really you want to see the maturity in you, you need to prostrate, you need to salute yourself. And how is it can be possible? By acknowledging yourself, seeing the worth of yourself, appreciating the points in you, not that negating other points in you. Please understand. Here, understanding in you as a complete person. How you can say this beautifully? In the morning, I bow down, I prostrate. Why? You can see this point very carefully. Generally, you do not respect yourself. You do not acknowledge yourself because of some type of insecurity with reference to getting few things in life, or you can say with reference to name, fame, and of course wealth. So with reference to that some type of gaining, most important aspect. With reference to some type of gaining, you have a conflict in you for yourself. So here is being highlighted very carefully that there are two types of gaining in this universe. We say praptasya prapti, apraptasya prapti. Something you want to achieve, something you want to gain, which is not yet gained. That is what we all work, common people work. Please understand, you are working only in this realm to achieve something which is not yet achieved. That's a very common way of living. But there is another type of achievement that is called already you have achieved, still you want to achieve. Praptasya prapti. So when you are working with the realm of apraptasya prapti, means that which is not as yet achieved, still you want to achieve. There will be restlessness with reference to that achievement, because the process is involved, waiting, working, fighting, struggling, all sort of things put together is called a process. And of course there will be bitterness, there will be many things in life you cannot really negate because it is not yet achieved, including waiting to have grey hair. Like especially these lawyers, judges, doctors. Judges of course they don't want, because already they are judges, so they don't need nowadays, they color nicely. So lawyers, especially doctors, they would like to make their hair grey, because if they get more grey hair, they are called senior people, they are matured. I'm sorry, it is just an example, okay? Not necessarily all. So what I'm trying to say is, even if to have grey hair, including Swamiji, okay? Don't worry. So to have a grey hair, at least you have to wait. So in apraptasya prapti case, that which is not yet gained but you want to gain, you have to do something. And all your activities is related to this. Whereas with reference to happiness, with reference to yourself, seeing yourself as you are, most important thing. What you want to see yourself, just observe yourself. Morning you are getting up for what? To make yourself restless? Would you like to enjoy that restlessness in you? Morning you are getting up to make yourself more insecure? What is the purpose of getting up? You want another day to be added to your calendar in a beautiful way. Just look at common way of thinking. You want to add another beautiful day to your calendar. So when you say beautiful, let it be meaningful, let it be happy mood, let there be some growth, and of course all sort of growth, starting with your financial growth, social growth, all sort of growth you look for. Please understand, it's a very common way of looking at life. Suppose if you know that tomorrow morning you are going to meet some big person, big personality, now you are going to add another person in your social status, then what happens? Morning you get up with different energy altogether. Or tomorrow you are going to gain something. There is some promotion. Or somebody is going to give you something, some money, something is going to come to you. How you get up? So that means basically you get up to gain something, to make your life beautiful by gaining something, whether name, fame or wealth, something or other. This is the problem with people. Life is not all about gaining. Life is all about giving. Remember, most important line in your life. Life is not all about gaining, getting, but life is all about giving. The more you give, the more you are happy, the more you are matured, the more you feel you are secure. Most important thing. Whereas the more you get, the more you grab, instead of grabbing what is appropriate here. We do not try to gain, we try to grab out of a situation. Because while gaining time, we do not consider many things. We do not look at anything, how the best I can get it. That's why with reference to gaining, I bargain a lot. While giving, I also bargain mentally a lot. Can you see this point? While gaining, I bargain outwardly. I negotiate, I fight. While giving, I start bargaining mentally a lot. Why should I give this? However, remember, life is not all about gaining, but it is giving. The more you give, the more you are secure. The more you will be able to look at yourself, the more you will really bend down to yourself. That's why an arrogant person cannot give anything. I would rather say, because that fellow does not give anything, that's why he is arrogant. Once in a while he will give something and wants to hold on to that and wants to get best out of that. The best example is Duryodhana. Because now Mahabharata is going on, is influencing a lot in my speech nowadays. So Duryodhana, once he had given something to Karna, one time, and tried to encash all the time, and poor Karna also did not know what to do. That's why you can see this Duryodhana is really signifies this arrogance. And when the gaining, we discussed this point, that's why we went all the way. Two types of gaining, praptasya prapti or praptasya prapti, with reference to myself, the happiness that I am looking for, that I want to make my life a beautiful day. I want to add another beautiful day. How can it be possible? Only by gaining that which is already gained. Because if I try to gain something which is not yet gained, it needs maintenance. I look at first my books. When I look at books, to be very honest, to get book, something is really nice, because I have gone crazy in my life to get books, especially when we are studying, no money, nothing was there. So we used to go around to collect books. How we collected, what I have done, don't ask me. But now if I look at, even though it is there, or if I get a book, now first question comes, where to keep? There will be dust, how to maintain? It would be better if I can have a digital copy. Even though nothing like having hard copy, please understand. Because whatever you gain, you need to maintain. So that means you have to spend. So any apraptasya prapti, there is a pain involved in maintenance. Whereas in praptasya prapti, that which is already there with you and you want to gain, is there anything required? In fact, because we do not know this praptasya prapti, that's why we are crazy for apraptasya prapti. This is the most important point to understand. Because we do not understand that what we are looking for in life, if you want to talk common language, because we do not know, we are not aware of, we are not sure what exactly we are looking in life. That's why we go crazy here and there and we do many things in our life. Deep within, we want to be happy. We want to be contented. We want to be really comfortable within ourselves. That happiness, that freedom is our birthright. Please understand. And that is not far away, that is in me. In fact, that is me. That is my nature. What I am looking for is me. And when I understand that, this is called praptasya prapti. It is exactly like the specs that I keep. While reading specs, many times we leave the specs and keep on the head. So then we start looking for where is specs. Remember, I am the owner of the specs, but I am looking to be owner of the space. That's why there is a gap. I struggle, I search. Finally, somebody says, Swamiji, what you are looking for is in you. Then you start, That is called realization, remember. That means praptasya prapti. You are already owner of the specs. This is the most important aspect. You are already owner of the specs, but still you want to be the owner. Like already you are happiness. Already you are a free person. But you want to be a free person. You want to be a happy person. So for this, when you understand this thing, now please understand, will there be any struggling? That's what he says. My salutation. I bow down to myself. And why I bow down? He says beautifully, Sanatana Padam. I am the timeless abode. Because whatever I achieve in life, for few days, few moments, I enjoy. After that, again, I want to look for next. Whole life is looking for next, struggling. But I am someone is a timeless abode. At the same time, what? Puruṣottamakhyaṃ. This is being declared by the scripture. This is declared by all these, let us say, enlightened people. What do they say? It is well known as the Supreme Purusha. Puri Shayanath, that who lives within. Supreme Purusha. So that means what? The one who lives within is the supreme. That means I am the best. Means I never fluctuate in life. I am as I am with all sort of difficulties that comes in life. I am Purushottama. That's why beautifully to understand the concept of Purushottama, Rama was considered as a Purushottama because he was the person because this concept was being translated into different type of character. This is the beautiful way of looking at Indian epics, Indian gods. The concept that we have in teaching cannot be understood by common people. So how to make them to understand this? So that's why these gods and different characters comes. Rama was considered as a Purushottama. Among big Uttamaha, the great among all Purusha, all living beings or human beings, you can say, because he never fluctuated in his life. He did what is to be done. Any given time, he has never failed. And always he stick to the dharma. The interesting thing happened, maybe those days he was the first, even though there was accusation and whatnot, but always he tried to do the best. That's why till now he is called Purushottama. But unfortunately in India, everything is copy and paste. Everything they destroy without knowledge or with knowledge, both way. And there is one group. The founder of that group is called also Purushottama. When I see a lot of things, especially present day, this all is modern Hindu oriented, let us say Hindu oriented organization. Their conspiracy is they get huge fundings in India to destroy the Vedic culture. There is one group, I can say openly, which is very unfortunate. They teach Raja Yoga, they call. And all over India they are full. They are destroying systematically Vedic culture. And the way they destroy the Vedic culture, you cannot really tolerate. If you have little bit knowledge, definitely you will get fed up. But people proudly say, oh, they are our people, they are spreading this common knowledge all over. Interestingly, you will discover they will accept Bhagavad Gita, not Lord Krishna. And they will say, Shivaratri, because if you recently went to Shivaratri, you know how auspicious it is. They will say Shivaratri has nothing to do with Lord Shiva, it has something to do with our founder. Because our founder was born on that day, so that's why we celebrate Shivaratri for that. What a disaster! So what I am trying to highlight here is, so each one try to take because of lack of knowledge, and or knowingly or unknowingly because of some benefit the founder does and everybody follows, non-common people are affected. So that's why may you be associated with the teaching, and may you know that you are timeless award, and of course you are Purushottama. And my salutation to that, I bow down to that. And interestingly, I am somebody. This is the most really nice to understand. I am that supreme reality, tamasah. This is the most important aspect. Tamasah paramarkavarnam. So I am that infinite because I am Purna. I am infinite. At the same time, I am the supreme reality which shines like sun. And when sun comes, automatically darkness is being removed. Because the ignorance is considered as darkness. So I am the knowledge. And because I have knowledge, once I abide with myself, there is no ignorance in me either. It is just a layer, it was just a layer, and that layer is being taken care. And the most important thing is, I am someone. I am manifest in all. That means I don't have to feel challenged. Whatever I see, I am in everywhere. You can see a beautiful concept in your life. How and why you feel challenged in your way. Every parents feel very happy when the child is small. A small child, whether it's a boy or girl, makes no difference. I have seen this incident very carefully. I have observed this incident very carefully. When, from the mother's womb, starting with, when the child kicks mother in the womb, mother celebrates. In fact, looks for kick. If the child doesn't kick for few hours, mother gets worried, and everybody also gets worried what is happening. And when the same child comes out of the womb and starts growing, when the child kicks, everybody feels very proud. In fact, mother will say, hit me on my face. Father, hit. They will lift the child and the child will hit. They enjoy it. Same child when it grows old, just observe. As the child becomes a teenager, forget about kicking. Says somewhat that I will kick you. What happens? Can the father or mother accept? Once upon a time, you were so proud. Now what happens to you? You can see this point very carefully. Earlier, you were thinking that the child is extension of me. In fact, child is me. As long as you are thinking child is me, that long if the child kicks or child does anything, makes no difference to you. In fact, you were celebrating. The moment you discover the child has its own individuality, and you discover that no, child is different from me, there is some type of gap, there is really some difference. Once you look at the child is different from you, then what happens? If the child says that I am going to kick you, now you are not in a position to take it, not able to accept it. Imagine here, if this is a small example, here says that I alone is manifest in everywhere. If I am everywhere, if everything is extension of me, now tell me, will I feel insecure? Will I feel challenged? That is called understanding. That is called the stability in one's own self. And then what happens? beautifully, this is the case, says beautifully, this entire rajjvam bhujangamamiva pratibhasitam vai. This entire universe appears on me. I am the substratum. How? It is exactly like the serpent on rope. The example comes serpent or on the rope. This is called the understanding. In a tube light zone, because if it is completely dark, nothing will be visible. That means if there is pure ignorance, absolute no problem. If there is completely light, daylight, no problem. But when there is a tube light zone, visible, not visible, there the rope is lying down. Now when the rope is lying down, you think it is a snake. Then what happens? All sort of projection. Now the shape of the rope becomes the shape of snake. The weight of the rope becomes weight of snake. In fact, whatever is in the rope, that is snake. And your projection, everything makes that rope as a snake, and that becomes a reality for you. Then you try to do everything. But once light comes, what happens to you? Also, you can take other way around. Suppose 2-3 times you have taken rope as snake. Then you try to wake up. This is the people, there are people. Hey, all these things are really not, there are no snakes, only ropes. Then real snake is lying down, so you think it is a rope. Then you try to play. That's also equally dangerous, remember. It can happen. That is how you burnt your fingers many times. You take everything for granted, especially with a close relationship. So both way it can happen. So basically what he says, the entire confusion, I would rather say, the entire confusion that you have is nothing but extension of you. And because of the confusion, everything appears as though many, as though different. So there is a difference. It is because of your confusion, because of your ignorance. And you are the substratum, you are the cause. That's why what you need to do, look at if there is any difference. If there is any confusion in me, that means it is because of me. I am not well grounded. I am not well settled. In fact, there is a lot of disturbance in me. There is a lot of confusion in me. Oh mind, calm down. This is me. I know it will take its own time, but try to listen to me. It is exactly, I observe the monkeys. Beautiful thing to observe. The problem with us is we don't belong to any category. Because if you observe a monkey, monkey is exactly like the extension of the mind. How the mind is restless, so also the monkey. It's very rare, very difficult to find a monkey which is calm and quiet. Will be busy doing something or other. And anything is there, very curious, wants to do many things. And a monkey learns faster. Especially in India. If you go to pilgrimage places, where, okay, nowadays because of corona they are crying is another thing altogether. Because there people give a lot. And I have seen few monkeys in few places. They are so lazy, means they are so habituated in living in a luxurious way. If you give them banana, they peel the banana and eat. And in social media you will be able to see, they can open the water bottle, drink the bottle, they drink all this cocoa, all this sort of cold drinks, everything. Because the way they are being exposed, they pick it up. Means the learning capacity is so faster. To adapt in a given situation, they are very fast. And that happens within a fraction of a second. That is called alertness. Just observe this point. It's very rarely to find a monkey who falls down. I was observing here a small whale. The monkey uses that and goes down. And where gets caught. Generally when wares get caught, what will happen? Monkey has to fall down. But the alertness is so high, the moment starts cutting means the way it was going, little bit shaking, small shaking happened, I was watching, monkey jumped. So that means what I am trying to highlight is here is, even though your mind is restless, in restlessness, if you are alert, I am sure you will not have any problem in your life. The problem is when your mind is restless, you are so lazy and lethargy. That's a monkey, you will not find any ideal monkey. Always active. That's why, remember, with restlessness, if mind becomes tamasic, indirectly I am completing it. We discussed this sattvic, rajasic, tamasic. Generally, people's mind is predominantly tamasic, secondarily or supported by rajasic aspect. This is the disaster. But most of the people are predominantly rajasic, supported by tamasic. So they achieve many things and of course confusion. They do many things and come back. They do many things, come back. And those who are completely rajasic, they really do very well. And of course, whatever happens, they never look back. Then the last two are there, that predominantly rajasic, but backed up by sattvic. They are the great achiever. They are the best contributor. In fact, this sort of personality are supposed to be the king. They are supposed to be the really contributor to this world. And finally, completely being sattvic. That's why if there is some type of laziness in you, that means you are destroying yourself. Your alertness is going out. That means tamasic comes means ignorance becoming stronger. The layer is stronger. That's why be aware, be careful. That's why in the morning you need to spend time for yourself. These are the three verses generally we chant. There is a fourth verse. This fourth verse actually we don't chant. The fourth verse is called Phalashruti. Generally in every write-up or every sloka or anything, we write Phalashruti means the result. If you chant, what will happen? So let us read that also. Slokatrayamidam punyam lokatraya vibhushanam pratah kale patedyastu sagachet paramam padam. So being Phalashruti, that it promises, because for everything you need to show a lollipop. Because mind always wants a lollipop. Without lollipop, mind is not going to move. So this lollipop is being handed over. So this is called Phalashruti. Look what will happen if you chant regularly. He says that early in the morning, in the Prata Kale, whoever recites these 3 verses, and of course this is a punya, it's not ordinary verse, very sacred, because we have seen all the meanings, so that I don't have to get into in details. And which are the ornament, this is the most important thing, of this 3 world, because I am the ornament. It talks about me, myself. It's not about anything outside. And of course, that person gains the supreme goal, means what the person wants to gain in life, automatically gains, because the person really is stable, understand oneself. And moreover, if a person really continuously chants and understands these things, to achieve few things in life, all these short-term goals, it just happens. Please understand, this is what I look at myself. This is called Satya Sankalpa. When you are stable, whatever you wish, whatever really you wish to have, it has to come. Upanishad says beautifully, this is what the concept here is. In the beginning, human being is called Devanam Pasu. Because we do puja, we do everything. Through that, the Indra, especially the gods, they get the oblation. Forefathers, they get oblation. Everybody gets enriched with our puja and other activities. That's why we are their pet. So because they are surviving because of, they give once in a while something, okay, keep quiet, continue. So as long as we are Devanam Pashu, that's why any human being starts studying Upanishadic teaching, there will be a lot of obstacles because the gods, they come to know that this fellow is studying Upanishadic, try to understand Upanishadic teaching is nearer, trying to understand one's own self, then my oblation will go away. And in fact, they will create a lot of obstacles. That's why always I say, unless you do puja, unless you do really all these things relating, try, if without doing that, if you try to understand Vedanta, it's not going to work. That's why Upasana is a must before Vedanta. I am very clear. Or else you will be end up as Neo-Vedantin. Like different organization, as I told you a few minutes back. They teach Raja Yoga, they do this, that, all sort of confusion, everything they talk, but the way they want it. And in that group, all are confused. I'll give you a beautiful example. I should not say. There is one lady very famous in India and all over the world. In that lady is divorced. And of course, this sort of category people only come. And nobody knows. Goes out because they have their uniform. But outwardly will put the jean pant and all these things, move around. But has got another image. I am not criticizing that aspect. The worst part is when the person could not survive, could not manage to live with a person, and that person teaching, you must learn how to live or how to lead married life. Beautiful words. You must accommodate. You must understand. Please understand. First, you must go back and accommodate your ex-husband. All these are publicity oriented because they talk everything our Vedantic scripture without giving acknowledgement. Very unfortunate thing because there is no upasana. This is the most important aspect I am highlighting. If there is no upasana, if you do not relate, if you do not approach in a systematic way, things will be complicated. That is what happens. That's why may you spend time with yourself in the morning. And once you have done this thing, after that, as I told you, rub both the palms, then place on your eyes and on your face so that you give your warmth. So once you give the warmth, look at both the palms, stating Karagre vasate Lakshmi, Karamadhe Saraswati, Karamuletu Govinda, Prabhate Karadarshanam. Once this is there, then only consciously you can touch the ground first, if you can. Because if the cot is very high, so try to at least consciously, mentally touch your fingers first on the ground along with your feet. So that be practical here, no problem. So then first you are supposed to do namaskaram to the Mother Earth. Oh Mother, there is a mantra also. Oh Mother, please forgive me because I am going to step on you. Please take care of me. So that your day starts with gratitude. And when your day starts with gratitude, you will discover day will move in a fantastic way. Even if many things, wrong things happens or adversities comes in life, it will just fizzle out because God's grace is there, mind is stable, and of course your alertness and you are abiding with the knowledge. You will discover the growth in you in a very systematic way. Thank you very much. Please close your eyes.